want to make sure that you are locked into money. And we are live on the other side. We are live on the other side. Munyumba, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and yes, thank you for doing the introduction. And we are live. Yes, we do say it a few times, but today it's a little bit different, Stephanie. It is a special day. It is, and as many people would know, we've been mentioning it, and I'm sure it's been talked about on the air. It is the fifth anniversary or the fifth birthday of Money FM, and it is a happy fifth birthday to our beloved radio station is Money FM, who has been around since 2018. This, Stephanie, was the day that the first transmission was done. And on that day, Stephanie, this is also the fifth anniversary of Behind the Markets. It was the first show on the first transmission. So, to everybody who has been with us for this 5 year journey, or at least any part of this 5 year journey, we are happy to have taken this ride with you. And it's thank you for many people. I don't know if there's anybody who. I don't know if I've lost Stephanie here for the moment, but is there anyone who can remember? We've gone through quite a few iterations of the show and of our sequence. And I remember that the beginning of of the mission of Money FM was to improve the information flow specifically focused on business, about trying to give a light to the business community and trying to move a little bit away from the constant view or the constant attention that sat in the world of only entertainment and politics. Not to say those don't have a space, but to give more light to what people needed to hear: economic news. They needed to hear how they could learn to start their businesses, stories of entrepreneurs. Throughout these 5 years, we've captured moments of market movements. We have predicted where prices, where trends have gone. We have had many a person on this air who has come to speak to great economic issues from various countries. We've had business leaders, political leaders who have come to speak about policy and where they seem to take this country. And through it all, we've spoken mostly to the viewer and the listener, to those who have actually managed to actually now put together some of their money to put together their businesses and to get started. People have called throughout these years, Stephanie, and said, because of the shows they've listened to, they've started their businesses. People have called and people have gotten out of debt. These are testimonials that I've actually heard from people, and sat down with them, and they've actually paid down their debt. And there's people who are debt free because of running this show. There are people who have put together their first asset portfolios, who got started in their home projects, who have managed to improve their balance sheet. Never underestimate the power that has been wielded through this radio station over the past 5 years. There has been impact. And to all the team that has been there, to you, Stephanie, who has been my co-pilot for some time, to the people who have held that seat even before you, who have been the co-pilot through, make no mistake, we have as a team impacted the nation. And a final statement to the two people who opted to step away from the working world, or to not only pursue the working world, but to actually come into this country or to be a part of this country and to build something. To the Fumbeshis, to Mr. and Mrs. Fumbeshi, especially Mrs. Fumbeshi, who have actually spent their time and their energy and resources and everything they know, they've staked their name on it to build a station that supports the business and financial interests of not just the systems, but of also the people. And it's to the benefit of the everyday person, the person who has a family of their own and to build a home. And they are just a family like any other Zambian. They are two Zambian people born and bred of this country who have basically put their energy on the line to try and do something different, and they did something different. And they called in a lot of people who believed in a vision that they did too, and what started with a vision has been around now for 5 years. So in case you didn't catch it, today is the fifth birthday of Money FM Radio. And we went live the day of the budget speech, and it's only ironic that we're going live, that it is our birthday It is Money FM's birthday again, the day before the 2024 budget speech. I don't know, Stephanie, if you caught much of that. What has your Money FM day been?
It's been okay. It's been beautiful to unraveling.
Yes, and we'll go across this. I think I would also like to also use this moment to send a shout out to I remember the very first team that we had on when we did the very first Behind the Markets, when I used to call in back then, and we actually didn't even have the social media print then. We were strictly radio. I was on for 5 minutes. I would come on 5 minutes just before the top of the hour, and I was on the phone with Yoela, and that's when I'd give the rundown of the markets. The very first one we would have, that was Mr. Yoela Chombo who used to do that. Then we struck with Behind the Markets, taking the road where I've been with Ruben, where we were actually doing that show pretty well as well. This is when it was with Ruben where we switched on to the social media audience, and we started testing the idea of becoming a social media audience. Then came a young brother, Buchizia, who came along with me, and that's when we really now started to build up the digital space. And I think that's when we took a different turn, Stephanie, from just only reporting the numbers to educating the people, to speaking about reality. We started now bringing finances into how it affects marriage, how it affects homes. We started looking at data points in the country. How does alcoholism link to unemployment? These are conversations we've had on the show to make sure that what we are talking about data-wise reflects in the kitchen tables and in the homes of as many of the people as possible. And that's where we actually took it. And it appears that when we struck that nerve of bridging the gap between the numbers and the data and the statistics, and we started to talk to the people and what they were going through and bring it back to money and finance, it actually started to connect a lot more with people. It started to mean a lot more to people. And though Money FM does come off like a niche, it still does speak to a lot of highly engaged people who are there. So to everybody who's been with us, if you're watching right now and if you've got a call or a comment to make, give us over the past 5 years, because 5 years is an important point. If you can, in the comment section, over the past 5 years, what's one moment that has stood out to you? What's one moment that has been memorable to you? What is one moment that has meant something to you? Share with us in the comment section, and please share with us all day long. If you want to make a call, please call us today and share with us over your time of listening to Money FM as well through the radio. What has been the moment where maybe it turned for you? Where did it connect for you? We'd love to know and also share this moment, because it has been a ride for all of us at this moment. Seppo Mufaya is saying, very true. So grateful to have the show. And she goes on to say, happy birthday to Money FM. While Samuel Boalia says, this doesn't start and end with you talking away. This sometimes with something better in the way of knowledge and enlightenment. So this is where we go. So this show doesn't start and end with you talking away with something better in the way of knowledge and enlightenment. Well, thank you very much. We don't know what that means. I think we're getting a call.
I don't know if it, we'll pick a call. Let's see. Let's pick this call.
Okay, we are taking any calls from anybody. Yeah.
Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, we're able to get you. Money FM radio, how are you?
We're not able to hear him on this side, Stephanie.
You were not able to hear him on the other side. When you says is not okay. Let's see. Hello. Okay, so something seems. Well, try calling us on the main line. Of course, if you want to call, get to call 077 1616290. How about you try with the main line? Of course, we'll be able to get you just like that.
So, Stephanie, even as you, as one of our co-hosts, what has been your most memorable moment in the along these years of Money FM?
I think every day is memorable for me. I don't know if you're putting me on the spot. I have to start picking, but of course, talking about the most memorable moment. Let's see, which one should I actually get to pick? I think for me, it's the first time you're going live because I'm a radio persona, and for me, I do radio. You know, I never thought I'd go on videos, TV and stuff. So of course for me that was memorable. That was like the first time. So I'm like, we're going live. Oh my God, we have to go live. Oh my God. And I still remember how my reaction was.
Yes, and for anybody who understands why I say live 3 times, because people have asked me the question, why do I say and we're live 3 times? It's actually because whenever we used to start the lives, my co-host at that time used to not pay attention. So I'd have to signal to him that we're live, and we're live. And so that's how we actually started, and we're live, and we're live. Just to kind of get him into the mindset to say, dude, we're actually live, by the way. So that's how we started
Definitely.
with that show. And
I'm
we're
figuring
sharing
that we have people that might want to call. So if you want to call us, do call on 077-1616290. What has been your memorable moment for over the past 5 years? So if you're listening to us over the past 5 years, what's your memorable moment? Do join us on 077-1616290. For those commenting on Facebook, LinkedIn, we'll get those comments. It looks like we'll be getting those calls pretty much soon. But let's get to do this.
Right, so let's get into the day. I know everybody tuned in as we have had our birthday moment. Let's get into the day and let's get down to business on today's Money FM Behind the Market. It is a business day, so let's get down to some of the radio stuff that we do, some of the main things. We did see the Kwacha get a little bit stronger yesterday, 20.8131, down 1.1%. That's where the dollar got weaker. Down 0.5% yes on the week, but up 3.68% year on the month and 15.01% year to date. This is why it's dangerous to put all your money in dollars, because you're actively fighting against the government, who actively wants to make the dollar weaker. So there is a little bit of strength there. So now, even so you are seeing that the dollar is in a buying trend, but there is a pressure point there. Bond index up 0.78% yesterday, and in dollars, bonds went up by 2.07%, adding the dollar effect and the main bond effect, with interest rates dropping by 0.28%, one of the biggest drops, showing that there is buying power setting up. Remember, there's an auction that's closing off today. Remember that the bond auction today is closing off. So you will get by 16 hours today. Every individual who wants to stick their money into this session's government bonds, they're done every month. It's going to close off today at 16 hours. We did see that the all-share index also closed at 9,246, down by 0.1%. Obviously, there was a few stocks that pushed down. There was just Zambia Sugar yesterday that has pushed down, but the all-share index is still at 26.01% year to date. At the same time, you see that the Rand dropped by 1.73%. In the second consecutive day of dropping, but towards the third session, we did see the exchange rate pick back up. So there's a little sideways trading that we're starting to see. Year-to-date, dollars up 15.01%. Year-to-date, Rand up is only about 1.83%. And the Rand is starting to lose a little bit of momentum, with only 50% of the last 30 days going upwards. In terms of the bond index, we've seen a little bit of a hockey stick towards the end, up 0.78%. Bonds are up 21.11% on the secondary market year-to-date, while GRZ bond index is up 5.37% year-to-date on the market, up 2.07%, with interest rates only up 0.63%. On bonds. As you can see, there's that downwards trend that has pushed it up off those highs of 24.9 that we were seeing, now down to 24.28. So 2 consecutive days of bond interest rate dropped. Simultaneously, We have also seen that copper dropped again yesterday on weak economic data globally, but oil was up 2.7%, back up to the 94.97. Why? Because of Oklahoma inventories, which dropped to the lowest since July 2022, when oil prices were trading relatively high as well. So American supply has slowed down, and we did see oil rigs slowing down, and also now Oklahoma supply also slowing down. So this is signals that we're getting very tight supply on the market. Gold has come down by 1.37% in dollars. Remember that we're waiting this weekend to see our pump price and where the pump price will be. That's going to be expected to be above 33.07, with the pump price up 3.65. Expect that the pump price will be up 3/4 at least 12.4%. I'm not factoring in even supply chain changes. This is just off raw FX and off the crude oil price. We are expecting about 12.41. That's the expected price movement upwards. Simultaneously, we have also seen that the wealth insurance assets, Bitcoin, was down 0.4% because of the dollar shift downwards of Bitcoin, and also the dollar shift downwards of the strength of the Kwacha. Ethereum up 0.3% because Ethereum was overpowered the loss in the Kwacha, while gold down 2.4%. First time it's been down below 40,000 an ounce in Kwacha. Across the market, we are seeing that bonds up 21.1%, stocks up 26%, gold is up 19.2% year to date, while USD is up 15%, Bitcoin up 83%, while the Ethereum is up 54.6%. If you're looking at quarter to date, we're seeing the bonds up 6.9% this quarter so far. Looks like they might just catch up with the second quarter. Stock markets have overpowered the second quarter with 12.2% so far we're heading for in the quarter. Bonds, US dollars up 18.3% this quarter, just overpowering the losses that we saw in the second quarter, while gold is up 16.2%, still a net loss versus the second quarter. Bitcoin only up 2.2%, below the 11.4% of the second quarter, while Ethereum has compounded its losses of 0.7% on top of the second quarter. That's why we show you that USD, gold, Bitcoin, these things are highly volatile. And that's been where we touch on with the major points of the market conversation. We do have a few more people who have actually, we do have one more comment that's actually joined in to actually talk about where the show has been. Gift Shamwaka has said the memorable is the first time when I listened to Money FM, and that was the most memorable day of my life, to listen to many talks about investment, about bonds, and how to save in the past 5 years of listening on Money FM. I have learned that I need to save for future use. Welcome, and I say to you, Stephanie, there has been human transformation. Don't underestimate the power of the words that we have put into the atmosphere and into the country here. There has been human transformation. And it's not just here locally. It's Zambians who are all over the world. Zambians who are in Switzerland, Zambians who are in the UK, Zambians in South Africa. They have been tuning into this show, following it, and they have been attuned to it. Students, doctors, teachers, entrepreneurs. They have been listening to this show for the past 5 years, and they have been growing with the show, and we have been growing with them. So today, Stephanie, our topic of discussion is part of our Building the Business Ladder series. We have been talking about building or climbing your business ladder, and that's been of importance to everybody. So today we're going to be talking about finding product market fit. So just to get back to the original part about building one's business ladder, or building one's business ladder, we did say this is the baseline of your business ladder. We always gave you this picture here. This is the model that we made, that your business ladder starts at level 1A, where it's your core task. Most people, Stephanie, who are building their businesses are at that point. Most people who are in business actually are still at that point, where they've got a basic product, they're compliant, it makes money, and it creates cash flow. But this is the journey, Stephanie, from idea to icon. That's where this goes. Iconic products, which are like the listed companies that we have on the stock markets, they're at the top. So this is what I always say. Entrepreneurship is something that should be cultivated and encouraged. But not everyone, in fact, most people will not be entrepreneurs. They will be self-employed. A majority of people will be self-employed. but a minority of people will go on to build businesses that create jobs for not just themselves, but for a greater pool of people, possibly a team of about 10 plus or more, that people will be responsible for 10 or more payrolls consistently, and will run a business that will run even over a period of 5 years. The entrepreneurs are the entrepreneurs are these people who are somewhere heading towards the top, that 3A and 3B. So this is the journey from self-employed to business owner to full-fledged entrepreneur. At this point, we're still aspiring entrepreneurs. And that's the journey that we're always looking at whenever we're making this statement here. Even for Money FM, this has been a growing journey as well. It did find a niche. So remember, in the first quadrant here, which we call the core task, when you're often self-employed, you've found a problem, you've created a basic solution, you're in compliance with things like PACRA, NEMA, all those things, ZRA, you're making sales, and there's money hitting into your bank account. Okay, at that point, you have just done the core task. The next point is to become operationally efficient, find product market fit, and then create a business model. So this is, at this point, Stephanie, the first point, you've created a product. And now you want to perfect that product, deliver that product well, and then create a business to house that product. So this is kind of the move everyone wants to make. And I'd like to say to as many people, this is kind of where a lot of entrepreneurs go to die, because a lot of people build businesses without creating a product. Like your business lives and dies by your sales, and you sell products and services. So if you have no products and services to sell, exactly what did you build a business for? And this is what unfortunately happens. There's a lot of that entrepreneur by status. Everybody, we want to be entrepreneurs by status. We love to build businesses, but we hate to build products. And so the reason why there's such a high failure rate, and the reason why banks and financiers suffer to finance businesses is simply because the majority of what people go to banks with looking for finances are businesses with no products. That, Stephanie, is like a human with no blood running through it, no air running through it. If you have no products to sell and you have no service to distinguish yourself by, you are dead on arrival or waiting to die. So the biggest problem is that we are all trying to build businesses, but we have not fundamentally worked on a product first. There is no business without a product or a service. Okay, and I want someone to write that down. That's extremely important. There is no business without a product or a service first. So I want to get into the conversation, as I said before, on product market fit. Making a product that fits the market. So we talked about operational efficiency. I want to talk today, before you get to operational efficiency, make sure you have solved a problem. So if anyone can remember, I always say this: a business is nothing but a problem solved with a product built with a process served by people. Okay, that's a simple thing. If anybody's writing that, write that one down. A business is a problem solved with a product built with a process served by people. And so you just kind of always remember, at the core of every business is a problem that is solved by a product. That is it. Okay, that's literally it. It's a problem solved by a product. If you have not got a problem that is solved by a product, you are not in business. You're just raising money. Yeah, and you're going to continue raising money until the point where you've run out of money to raise, and you're going to be using connections to keep raising money. But if you're not a problem-solving product, then you're not sustainably in business. So the first step of any business venture is finding a product that fits the needs of the market. Okay, and we're going to be talking about this over the next 3-week period. Finding product market fit is, I believe, what people need to be doing. So what is product market fit? Now, basically, it's an old term that was developed by Benchmark Capital founder Andy Rachleff and Sequoia Capital founder Don Valentine in the mid-90s, but was popularized by venture capitalist Mark Andreessen of Andreessen Horowitz in the mid-2000s. And what he was simply saying is, it's the degree to which the product you have created satisfies a strong market. So our product, Stephanie, is business news and business content. It's business and finance news and content. Okay, news. It's business and finance news or content. So basically, content. We're pumping out content for the business and finance communities. So the saver and the business owner or the person trying to develop their skills. These are the things that we're looking for. Somebody trying to develop a career. But where people have got personal economic activities, we're creating content for that. So the degree to which it satisfies a strong market. A lot of people, the reason why Money FM even went into business, they saw a lot of people really needing support on the economic front, making better economic decisions, making savings decisions, building decisions, finance, everything. But there was a struggle to get information. A lot of information, Stephanie, in the financial sector and even in the business sector is reserved for big businesses and the very wealthy and the banking elite and for international clients. But the everyday Zambian cannot understand why inflation moves up. The everyday Zambian doesn't even get an explanation as to what inflation is in the first place. Okay, and I'm not when I even say the everyday Zambian, I'm even including the middle class people. It has to be the ultra rich who understand these things and are given proper explanations with proper management. So there was a strong market where people needed the economy explained to them so that they could make better decisions. So a unique product, it's also product market fit is a unique product offering that people desperately want. So you've created something that people are yearning for in society. Well, it's when a company targets customers buying, when a company's target customers are buying, using, and telling others about a company's product in numbers larger than the company can sustain. The company can sustain the product's growth or profitability. So when something takes off and it starts growing faster than you can manage it, that is when you have product market fit. And the trick I think that's been told to many people is don't build a business. In other words, start having accountants and all these things. You can have basic structure, but don't build a full-fledged business until you have found product market fit. Until you have found a product that can fit a market that needs it, a growing market that needs it, you're going to create a hole in your pocket. And I think, Stephanie, this is the number one problem banks even have with financing people. People will come for capital, but they don't have product market fit. They'll go to investors and say, but why can't we get investors? And you ask them, okay, so who's the target audience? Me, I sell this. Okay, who's the target audience of your product? No, I need funding. Yeah, but who's the target audience? Because your ability to pay back this capital, it hinges on the fact that you have created a product that can meet an underserved need in the market. And if you haven't done that, then you're just going to take someone's money and you're going to lose it. Okay, so this is a key critical conversation that many Zambians need to start having, being sensitive to the needs of society. And this is why I say, Stephanie, Chris, one of the reasons God tells us to serve people and to be need oriented, He's actually teaching you an entrepreneurial skill. Be sensitive to the needs in society and then self-aware of the gifts and talents that you have and the experiences that you have that can meet the needs. I thought I was doing something else until people said, hey, Munyumba, I'd like to learn about stocks and bonds. I one day just asked people and I got an overwhelming response. And that's when I realized, so that's the market that needs me. People need education on things before they start investing. That was an opening for the people who actually needed it. So that's why education became extremely important. Okay, so that's why I'm saying find a product market fit before. And here's what this is the map that Dan Olson, who created the Lean Product Playbook, that's something you may want to read, actually pointed out. He said, find your target customer, define them carefully. What are their underserved needs? Then you create a hypothesis and you create a basic idea of a product. Value proposition, what value is it? What features are going to support delivering that value? And what customer experience will they have by using those features? The click, Stephanie, is here. Product market fit. Okay? When your value proposition, your features, and your user experience meet the underserved need of a defined target customer. So there's an actual science to all of this now. And you start to learn maybe what we were all doing wrong in our business journeys going forward. And basically, so this is the journey that was outlaid in terms of an entrepreneur. You come up with an idea, you come up with a prototype, you launch that prototype. This is the journey of discovering a product market fit. When you have built traction, okay, in other words, the sales are starting to explode. When you've clicked with the market, and now you're getting phone calls. Hey, I was told by a friend of mine to come and see you. Hey, I need your product. When you start getting those, you've actually clicked with the market, because when people start telling each other about something, you've clicked with the market. And now you're able to monetize this. In other words, to create a revenue stream, and you're able to grow. But you're also going to keep refining the product market fit, because here's the funny thing, Stephanie, people's needs evolve. Okay, so you can't just get static about it. Say, yippee, we found something that fits the market. People's needs evolve. First, we started by reporting the business news. Then we realized that people needed business education. Then we realized people needed business and finance inspiration. So we started bringing interviews. Things evolved because the needs of the Zambians evolved. So you also have to remember that. Now, from various interpretations, here's what it also means. Product market fit is creating a so-called minimum viable product that solves an existing product. It's the step between customer validation and customer creation. So in other words, you validated that there is a customer here, and then you create an actual customer. That's the final step. Well, Alex Austin Wilder's business model canvas says it's when your value proposition, customer segment, relationships, and channel are set without needing any additional changes. So these are some important factors, and I think this is kind of where we'll kind of remember. And I just wanted to put this down. What are the hardest things that people say when starting a business? The hardest things, and this was surveys of startups. Number one is finding a product that fits the market. Number two is building a team that can deliver that product to the market. A distant third, Stephanie, is making money, because once you've got a product that meets the needs of the market and you've got a team that can deliver that product, making money is an automatic thing. In fact, you don't make money often because you didn't find a product that met the needs of the market, and two, you have not built a team that can consistently deliver on that product to meet the needs of the market. So making money is about finding a product that fits in the market and building a team that can deliver that product. Once you do that, making money becomes an issue. Then building an organization, using the money that you make, you can then build an organization that repeatedly launches new products and changes to this. We've iterated this show multiple times because of understanding that. And I'm going to try and stop today before I get into how to measure product market fit, that's going to be the next time we start here. I'm going to talk about why it's important. And this is why I'm talking about this also is the entrepreneurial journey of this country. The biggest problem, Stephanie, in Zambia is underemployment. Underemployment is the worst problem that Zambia faces. It actually is the World Economic Forum statistical problem. And the reason why we have underemployment is we have not promoted a problem-solving culture where us as people solve the problems of our society utilizing businesses. Whenever there's a problem in society, the instinctive word that we say is the government must look into this, not I must do something about this. We don't feel this conviction to solve the problems of society. When you hear one of the gentlemen who started the taxi app in Zambia, he said his sister was sick and it was difficult for him to call a cab. So at 2 a.m. So he said there must be a better way. He didn't say Ministry of Home Affairs or Ministry of whatever local government, please talk to the councils. But he didn't. Yeah. Went and built a taxi application. So he felt this conviction to solve a problem and realized many other people were having problems with the taxi booking experience. Some maybe with the times, some maybe with the price negotiations. They were having problems. So he built this platform to solve the problem of the taxi booking experience. That's one of the issues. People had a problem having to walk distances to find a cab. So why is product market fit important, Stephanie? Banks, financiers, and venture capitalists want evidence that you can actually sell, because your sales are what are going to pay back loans. Before you develop a product before you develop a product that can confirm enough people are willing to pay for it, your team cannot afford to focus on anything else. So all these projects that you want, you can't focus until you've met a need. You must meet a need first before you focus on every other thing. Like, let's decorate our office. Let's do first things first. You must meet a need. Okay, determine that your product has enough market to sustain itself. So that's why, because you're a huge business risk. Remember, Stephanie, we talked about types of risks last week. Business risk. Does a company generate enough revenue to cover its costs and make a profit? That is a business risk. So product market fit is the core of business risk. You can't scale your team past 25 people until you have product market fit. You can't. So creating jobs becomes impossible in this country if people don't start focusing on solving problems. And the other important thing that this is what Mark Andreessen says. He says market matters most. Neither a stellar team nor a fantastic product can redeem a bad market. If you don't solve an actual need, remember, it's not about creating the product, it's about solving the need. Stephanie, people don't buy your product, they buy your solution to their problem. That's what they're buying. They're buying your solution to their need and their problem. So what product market fit requires for our country is a shift in the mindset from making money to solving problems. And those things don't have to be exclusionary. Okay? What I'm trying to say is solve a problem first. Solve a big problem in society, and money becomes easy to make. Mark Zuckerberg always says, if we can get enough people to, he says, they always ask him, but Mark, how are you gonna monetize this? Mark Zuckerberg always says, when enough people are using something, it's easy to find a way to make money off it. The key is actually just getting enough people to use something. And people, Instagram was not making money before Facebook, when Facebook bought it for $1 billion. But guess what? Instagram is now competing with Facebook, the core one, for how much money that the company makes, because they figured out how to monetize it. Once enough people are using something, you can and you will find a way to make money off of it. The problem is not about whether you can make money or something, it's how many people need it and how many people want to use it. That, Stephanie, is one of the key issues that we must always bear in mind going forward. We got one more message from Gift. Shakamo has said, it's your birthday. It's a big deal. I knew you haven't invited all the neighbors' kids over for a party or anything, but I think we could track you down and say a big happy birthday to Money FM. Yes, we're having a birthday in the shadows. But yeah, it is our 5th birthday. To our team, before we knock off today, to our team out there, there are people who are not on camera. Lucky still comes on camera sometimes. To Cecilia, who writes a lot here. To even the guys who have left, people such as Best, who are working in the background a lot. We really are thankful for everybody who is with us and who has been with us, and to everybody who has viewed and watched us and supported us over the years. This is a thank you to all of you, and to the team that has delivered on 5 years of service in something that many people did not understand whether it would work or not, because everybody said, if you want to do radio in Zambia, you have to do politics. We've been here for 5 years, still going strong. To that team and everybody who has delivered, congratulations to you, Stephanie, to everybody who has taken this ride with us and who is there working hard in the newsroom. Thank you so much to everybody. And I wish you a wonderful 5th birthday, and there are many more days to come.
On that note, Munyumba, we end Behind the Markets today, and Munyumba has said it all. Thank you to those that do come through, try and make it exciting, entertaining on every show that you come through. It's always a pleasure. And of course, looking forward to doing the next 5 years again with you on the other side. Keep it locked on to Money, and don't you praise it out. And to our Facebook family, tomorrow again, we are on air.
Peace. Have a wonderful day.